The year is 1943, and while American air power reigns supreme, the reality of war shows its cracks. The A-20 Havoc, despite its initial promise, is proving sluggish and underwhelming in the face of fierce combat. Just imagine the frustration of pilots yearning for something more, faster, tougher, deadlier. This is where the Douglas A-26 Invader steps in, born from the ashes of that failure. Designed by the brilliant Ed Heinemann, who also crafted the iconic SBD Dauntless, the Invader isn't just another bomber in the sky, it's a sleek, twin-engine marvel ready to dominate the battlefield. Picture it, a flying buzzsaw crafted to slice through anything in its path with unmatched speed and precision. This aircraft was built with one mission in mind: to obliterate the enemy, ensuring that the sacrifices of the past now pave the way for a more formidable future in the Pacific. Constructed with raw power at its core, the A-26 was truly an engine of destruction. At its heart were two roaring Pratt & Whitney R2800 engines, those same legendary powerhouses that powered iconic aircraft like the P-47 Thunderbolt and the F-4U Corsair. They weren't just engines, they were the very soul of this beast, producing a symphony of sound that filled the skies with the promise of relentless firepower. But it was the A-26's nose that commanded respect and struck fear into the hearts of adversaries. It bristled with .850 caliber Browning machine guns, creating a devastating wall of lead. Pilots proudly referred to it as a gunship with wings, and for good reason. When they unleashed its fury, the A-26 could spit out an astonishing 14,000 rounds per minute, its impressive firepower concentrated into a lethal storm that could decimate ships, trains and ground troops within mere moments. As the aluminum skin of the A-26 gleamed in the tropical sun, it was as if the aircraft itself was a mythical creature, beautiful yet terrifying. Underneath that shiny exterior lay a brutal machine designed for one purpose: destruction. Those who flew it felt the adrenaline surge through their veins, a mix of pride and purpose as they witnessed the sheer power unleashed from their cockpit. This wasn't just flight, it was warfare redefined, a testament to human engineering and ingenuity that could change the course of battles in the blink of an eye. In the heat of combat, when every second counted, the A-26 stood ready, a true leviathan over the battlefield. When the A-26 Invader finally made its entrance into the chaotic skies of the Pacific in 1944, it was like unleashing a thunderstorm upon an unsuspecting enemy. The Japanese forces, somewhat complacent, had no idea what was about to unfold. Initially, they perceived it merely as another light bomber from the Allies, deceived by its sleek silhouette as it roared overhead. But that underestimation quickly turned to terror when the Invader's nose guns opened fire. The unmistakable roar of those .50 caliber machine guns shattered the calm. Within moments, what had been calm destroyer decks erupted into blazing infernos. Imagine being on one of those ships, feeling the sudden heat, the shockwaves of surrounding explosions, and hearing the horrific symphony of chaos as steel plating was shredded like paper under the relentless barrage. Reports from Allied pilots echoed a grim marvel, destroyers breaking apart, splintering against the sheer force of the A-26's sustained attack. This was no longer just a plane, it had earned its reputation, steel and fury embodied. The A-26 was no longer a mere aircraft, it had become the harbinger of destruction. In those moments, it became clear the Invader was a game changer, and with it, the tides of war were shifting in ways the Japanese could hardly fathom. The A-26 Invader wasn't just another bomber, it was a game changer in the skies. Picture this, a streamlined aircraft armed with an 8-gun nose that became the stuff of legends. While most bombers flew high, relying on altitude and a heavy payload, the A-26 redefined the battlefield with a brutal combination of power and precision. It skimmed just above the waves, turning the ordinary act of flying into an adrenaline-pumping dance with danger. Imagine being a sailor on a Japanese destroyer, enjoying the calm of the sea one moment, and then, out of nowhere, you hear the unmistakable roar of twin-engine aircraft approaching from below the horizon. It's not just any bomber, it's an A-26, and it's not flying high above you. It's almost level with the water, ready to unleash a torrent of fire. The crew aboard the Invader would unleash a barrage of 50 caliber bullets, each round capable of piercing light armor and igniting fuel tanks, their destructive potential leaving targets utterly vulnerable. In coordinated attacks, these squadrons became a force of nature, stripping an enemy vessel bare before it could even think about firing back. The psychological impact was staggering. Crews found themselves abandoning their posts at the mere sight of those low-flying silhouettes. It wasn't just about firepower, it was about injecting fear into the hearts of the opposition. The A-26 turned the tide of air superiority, reminding us all that sometimes it's not just about the size of the arsenal you bear, but how courageously you wield it that truly defines a warrior. The Invaders soared with a ferocity that only fearless pilots could harness, men who faced the ocean's vastness as a battleground. These weren't just any aviators, they were the ship killers, guardians of freedom who charged through flak and anti-aircraft fire like warriors on a mission. Picture Captain Clifford Heflin, a name that echoed in the hearts of his comrades. He wasn't just fighting for victory, he was part of something greater, leading a breathtaking raid so low that the prop wash from his A-26 churned the ocean into a frothy mist, a heroic blur as he unleashed his firepower on a Japanese gunboat. These were moments that could easily become legends. When their planes returned, often battered and bruised, the sight was bittersweet. Wings riddled with shrapnel, paint scorched from near misses. Yet those crews emerged from their machines with grins that outshone the sun. Each mission not only fortified their resolve, but bonded them through shared danger and triumph. The Invader transformed ordinary men into legends, heroes forged in the crucible of combat, and it was these experiences, these daring feats, that etched their names into history, reminding us that even in the face of death, courage can turn ordinary moments into extraordinary stories. In early 1945, as the war raged on, the A-26 Invaders were called into action in the Philippines and Borneo, stepping up operations against the ever-threatening Japanese destroyers that tormented Allied convoys. These were perilous times, where every moment mattered and danger lurked at every turn. The air was charged with tension, a prelude to fierce combat. Imagine the scene off the coast of Palawan. An ordinary day quickly turned into chaos. A squadron of invaders, with their distinctive silhouette cutting through the sky, locked their sights on 3 enemy destroyers caught refueling. The moment was electric, charged with adrenaline and the weight of lives at stake. Within minutes, those ships, symbols of Japan's naval power, were engulfed in flames, reduced to burning wrecks amid the vast ocean. The A-26's powerful guns unleashed a torrent of fire, tearing through masts, hulls, and gun turrets effortlessly. The air filled with the deafening roar of gunfire, punctuated by the explosive sounds of igniting ammunition stores. Witnesses described it as a hellish sight, fire and smoke intertwining against the backdrop of water, transforming the serene ocean into a battlefield. On that day, it wasn't the bombs that spelled doom for Japan's ships. It was the sheer, relentless barrage from a handful of invaders, a stark reminder of the extraordinary power of concentrated fire. For the men flying those missions, it was a personal struggle. Each pull of the trigger was fueled by the knowledge that their actions were part of a larger fight for freedom, a battle written not only in history books, but also in the hearts of every soldier devoted to their cause. The bravery and precision of those pilots became legendary, and as the sun set on the flames of that engagement, it marked a pivotal moment in the war, a testament to innovation, courage, and the unyielding spirit of those who faced steel with steel. The A-26 Invader wasn't just another aircraft. It was a testament to American ingenuity and determination. Unlike many of its contemporaries that fell victim to enemy fire, the A-26 emerged from battle with an incredible toughness that became legendary. Imagine being in the cockpit of this powerhouse, hurtling through the skies at over 350 miles per hour, feeling the adrenaline rush as you dive faster than most fighters. There's nothing quite like it. Picture a crew returning home after a brutal mission, the aircraft riddled with bullet holes, yet still holding strong. Some returned on just one engine, the sound of mechanical struggle barely audible over the roar of triumph. Japanese anti-aircraft gunners grew increasingly frustrated, realizing that what they shot at seldom went down. The Invader wasn't just built to fight, it was built to endure. And for those who piloted it, the A-26 embodied a spirit of resilience, an aircraft that not only survived but thrived against impossible odds, showcasing the very essence of American grit. The legacy of the A-26 didn't stop with Japan's defeat in 1945. It soared into the skies of Korea and Vietnam, morphing as the world around it changed. Imagine a time when conflicts raged on new fronts, each requiring the versatility of the A-26. Modified versions equipped with rockets, precision bombs, and state-of-the-art radar for night strikes showed us that this aircraft wasn't just a relic of World War II, it was an adaptive force on the battlefield. The same airframe that once skillfully attacked enemy destroyers continued to unleash its fury decades later. It's remarkable to think that many pilots who first soared through the A-26's cockpit have since faded into history. Yet the aircraft itself has remained a symbol of resilience and ingenuity. Douglas engineers created more than just a machine. They crafted a testament to a design philosophy, the belief that power lies not in sheer might but in precision. In their hands, metal became more than just metal. It became a legend. In the hushed corridors of Japanese military command, disbelief echoed louder than the sounds of war. Reports flooding in after the devastating attacks detailed a profound shock. Commanders described an unprecedented American aircraft, striking with a speed and ferocity they had never encountered. They struggled to wrap their minds around the fact that a mere medium bomber could unleash such chaos, capable of sinking destroyers without mercy. In the face of this new threat, naval officers hurriedly called for countermeasures, but the grim reality was that Japan's industrial base was already crumbling, its resources dwindling. With each passing day, the dream of maintaining naval supremacy faded into a haunting nightmare. The A-26 had proven that American air power wasn't just a distant menace. It could dismantle the once mighty Imperial Navy without even skimming the surface of the sea. This realization left a profound impact, altering the course of the war and shattering the confidence that once defined their forces. As the echoes of World War II faded, the A-26 Invader quietly settled into history, earning a poignant nickname, the last plane to fire in World War II. This moniker isn't just a title, it underscores the aircraft's unique role in a conflict that forever changed the landscape of warfare. When it finally suited down after the chaos, the Invader stood as a bridge connecting two distinct eras of military aviation. It transitioned from the relentless bombing campaigns that characterized the war to a new age, where precision and strategy began to redefine air combat. The A-26 wasn't just a cog in a larger machine, it was a harbinger of change. In an era where sheer firepower began to shift towards pinpoint accuracy, the Invader redefined what it meant to be a bomber. It embodied a radical shift in thinking. No longer did bombers need to be simply massive lumbering vessels. Instead, they became agile platforms equipped to deliver devastating strikes with surgical precision. Its design, with those sleek lines and robust features, reflected a significant evolution in military aviation. It spoke of innovation and adaptability, qualities that would come to define the American spirit in the years to follow. Today, when we see surviving A-26s flying at museums or air shows, there's a particular magic in the air. The sun gleams off its 8-gun nose, each glint a reminder of a storied past. For aircraft enthusiasts and historians alike, these planes are not merely relics. They are vessels carrying tales of courage and resilience. Just imagine standing beneath an A-26, gazing up at its iconic silhouette. It's hard to look at it and not feel a swell of pride and nostalgia. Those sleek wings once soared through hostile skies, and their roars filled hearts with both dread and hope. Yet the legacy of the Invader runs deeper than nostalgic sentiments. It stands as a symbol of relentless innovation, a testament to what happens when American ingenuity meets unwavering resolve. The Invader came to invade. It arrived with a purpose, thrusting itself into the fray at a pivotal time in history. This aircraft didn't just stop winning with the war's end. Its influence and capabilities rendered it a valuable asset in subsequent conflicts, a reminder that sometimes the best tools of war are those crafted with both intellect and courage. Facing significant challenges and ever-evolving adversaries, the A-26 paved the way for future aircraft, influencing designs for decades to come. It represents an intersection of ideas, where engineers, pilots, and technicians united in common cause, driven by a singular goal to develop an aircraft that could adapt, survive, and outsmart its enemies. The collaborative efforts behind the Invader epitomize the notion that innovation often blossoms from necessity. Conflict can spur amazing progress, both in technology and human spirit. For those who cherish the history of aviation, the A-26 Invader is not merely another plane that graced our skies. It encapsulates a chapter of bravery, foresight, and relentless pursuit of excellence that still resonates today. Each flight today is more than a tribute, it's a legacy. It reminds us that with every challenge faced, there comes an opportunity to innovate and evolve. It whispers to us about the heroes of the past, the struggles they bore, and the victories they earned through sheer determination and vision. In a world increasingly defined by fast-paced change and technological advancement, the Invader serves as a poignant reminder of the power of legacy, how one aircraft can symbolize a transformative era in military history. And as we continue to honor the past, we embrace the reminder that innovation is never an end. It's an invitation to keep pushing boundaries, to keep aiming higher, and to keep flying towards the future. The Invader came to invade, and in doing so, it has forever changed how we view not only combat, but the very spirit of innovation itself.